Hey, welcome. Today, we're going to build a complete blueprint for an entire category of Portuguese verbs. And trust me, by the time we're done here, you'll see how mastering just one verb can literally unlock hundreds of others. Okay, let's get right into it.
So if you've ever felt totally overwhelmed by Portuguese verb tables, you're so not alone. It can feel like this endless list of things to memorize. But what if I told you there's a system, a pattern, that once you see it makes everything just click? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today.
Here's our game plan. We're going to tackle this in 4 simple steps. First, we'll build our foundation with the active voice. Then, we'll play with time, talking about the past and future. After that, we'll dive into different moods and forms, to add some flavor. And finally, we'll learn how to flip the action around. Think of it as our roadmap to total verb confidence.
All right, first things first, we have to start at the beginning. The active voice is where the subject is the one doing the action. These are the forms you're going to be using all day, every day. They're the absolute bedrock of the language.
So what are we focusing on? The third conjugation. That's just a fancy way of saying all the regular verbs that end in IR. And for our blueprint, our master example is the verb demitir, which means to dismiss. Now remember this, the patterns we learn with this one verb, they apply to tons of others. That's the key.
Okay, check this out. This is where the magic happens. Look at that pattern. The core of the verb, the stem, demit, it doesn't change at all. It stays exactly the same. The only part that's different is the ending. And that little ending tells you who is doing the action. It's O for I, ES for you. You see? It's a system, a beautiful, logical system.
Awesome. So we've got the now totally covered. But what about yesterday or tomorrow? Let's expand our blueprint and start playing with time. First up, let's head to the past.
This is what's called the simple past, or the pretérito perfeito. Think of this as your one-and-done past tense. It's for actions that are completely over and finished. I dismissed. Boom, it's in the past. And notice we've got a whole new set of endings here. These are your clear signals that you're talking about a completed past action.
And now let's jump to the future. What's so cool about this is that the entire original verb, demitir, is still right there hiding inside the new word. You just tack on these new future endings like a, es, and a. This makes the future tense one of the easiest to spot in the wild. Okay, quick sidebar, but this is super important. There are 2 main ways to talk about the past. The simple past, demici, just means I dismissed. One event, done. But the pluperfect, demitira, means I had dismissed. That little word had is a huge clue. It means the action happened before something else in the past. It's all about putting events in the right order. So we've traveled through time, but language is about more than just when something happens. It's also about attitude, expressing doubts, wishes, or giving commands. And that's where different moods come in. Okay, let's talk about the subjunctive. I know the name sounds super formal and scary, but it's really not, I promise. Just think of it as the what-if mood. You use it anytime you're not stating a cold, hard fact. It's for things that might happen, things you wish would happen. It's the mood of possibility. And here's what it looks like. Let's compare. If demito is a fact, I dismiss, then demita is a possibility, I may dismiss. See that subtle shift? We have a whole new set of endings that are our signal that we've moved from the world of facts into the world of maybes. Now these 3 guys here, think of them as your Swiss Army knife of verbs. You've got the infinitive, the basic to dismiss, you've got the gerund, which is your ing form, dismissing, and then you've got the past participle, dismissed, which is, well, it's absolutely crucial, as you're about to see.
So what if you want to say something more complex, like I have dismissed? It's actually a super simple recipe. You just grab a helper verb, usually ter, which means to have, and you add that past participle we just talked about. So, il tengo plus demitido becomes il tengo demitido. I have dismissed. This one rule unlocks a whole world of more advanced tenses.
All right, for our final piece of the puzzle, we're going to flip the script. We're going to see what happens when the subject of the sentence isn't the one doing the action, but is actually the one receiving it, or even doing it to themselves.
This slide shows the difference perfectly. In the active voice, eu demito. I am the star of the show. I'm doing the dismissing. But in the passive voice, eu sou demitido. The action is happening to me. I am dismissed. It completely changes who the focus of the sentence is, doesn't it?
Now check this out.
Eu demito means I'm dismissing somebody else. But watch what happens when we just stick me on the end. Eu demito-me. Suddenly, I'm dismissing myself. The action boomerangs right back to the person who started it. That's the reflexive voice.
And here's another really cool, very Portuguese trick. You can attach the object of the sentence directly to the verb. So instead of needing a whole separate word for him, you can just smush it together into demito-o, which means I dismiss him. You see this a lot in commands too, where the verb changes a little, like demitio, dismiss him. It's super efficient.
All right, let's tie this all together. Here is your blueprint in a nutshell. Active is when you do it. Passive is when it's done to you. Reflexive is when you do it to yourself. Pronominal is when you do it to an object that's attached to the verb. And for all those fancy complex tenses, you just need a helper verb and that past participle. That's the entire system right there.
And just like that, you have it, the master key, the complete blueprint for any regular IR verb in Portuguese. The endings, the moods, the voices, the system works for all of them. So, the only question left is, what's the first verb you're going to master with it?